friends ain't what they really used to be. Everybody knows this. The energy has somehow shifted. And once you start to realize this, you're going to feel a lot better about yourself. And this is crazy that you can grow up with somebody or be around somebody for so long that you consider a friend, and you start to realize that friendships ain't really friendships no more.
You ever had a person show you so much in every single way they can possibly show you that they would that you care less about you? Eventually you go, let me just move away from this person. It's not good for me.
You thought y'all shared the same values, the same things y'all had in common. But as time goes on, as you continue to live your life, you're going to see friends ain't really friends no more. People betray you. You find out people really don't care about you like you thought they did. And it's just a sad situation. And that's crazy because I was watching this video, right? It was this young lady on there. She was talking about when she sensed weird energy, she just removed herself from the scene. And friendships, relationships, it just don't matter. Because at the end of the day, she was already sensing weird energy. And she's going to protect herself because that's really how it's supposed to be. Once you see things like this, and I know it's hard to just give up, walk away, but sometimes you have to walk away in situations because in these videos, I know a lot of people can relate to this because I can relate to this. I remember the hard times. I remember when I thought I had a friend. And that's why a lot of people are just choosing isolation over everything. That's why a lot of people prefer to be alone.
I was so infatuated with love, I had to have it, and I was looking for it in different people. Listen, let me tell you this. I'm a fucking sucker for love. I'm a fool. I paid women for love. I paid my mama to love me. I paid my kids to love me. The fucked up part about it, they never fucking loved me. Right? They only loved me for the moment when I was giving them something. So I didn't understand what love was, and all that love made me think that I needed these things to feel love. So that's what I did. I hustled more. And every time I went down, I looked up and I had nobody. Right? But then I understood what love was, right? Okay. You have to love yourself. Right? And then when you love yourself, sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the times, you end up by yourself. Because let me tell you something. The only people that have a lot of friends and shit like that is the people that agree. I don't agree with shit. Right? You have to convince me other than what I know that what you're saying is true. I'm not gonna fucking agree with you because you said it. What that mean? I gotta fucking agree. And listen, and them the people that don't have no friends, but them people that are gonna be lonely. But that's how Jesus walked. He only had 12, right? Listen, when you in this world, you make your own decisions, you forced to be by yourself.
There's no peace in the friendships. Friendships is not valued like how they used to be. And then the sad thing is that you realize that the friendship was never real anyway.
Once you start being weird to me in a friendship or relationship, I am immediately out of there.
And you're right, immediately remove yourself from the situation when you see bad signs of weird energy because it could be deceiving. They can tell you that they mean something different and you're supposed to listen to them. But go with your first mind always because if you don't, you're going to be left disappointed in the end because you didn't go with your first mind. And I know you want to give them the benefit of the doubt, give someone a second chance. But I've been through this situation before. And a lot of people have been through this situation before. All it's going to do is lead you to heartbreak and disaster. Because at the end of the day, somebody may be saying something, but the actions will never lie to you. And I say this constantly all the time. Actions will never lie. Once somebody show you who they are, let them show you who they are. And then you just remove yourself from the scene. And like I was stating, that's why a lot of people just isolate. It's no point. You be looking forward to the friendship, and then you just find out that the friendship wasn't even real from the get-go. And now you just heartbroken and disappointed. And do you really know how I feel to be disappointed? That's the worst feeling in the world because you looked up to this person. You never thought they'd do this. Your trust is gone. And the ones you don't see, there's the ones that hurt you the most. So always listen to the actions. And I know you don't understand how people can just act weird, but people do it all the time. People switch up all the time. And that's sad. So it's like you don't trust nothing no more. Everything feels so disconnected. And social media get everybody just losing their mind, going out of control. And they don't even have time to check on their friend. But they so busy posting on social media, but can't check on their friend. So what's that telling you? They value the internet over your friendship. You got some people that you can text, what's going on? They won't respond back, but you will see them post on a social media platform, but couldn't respond to your text or respond to your phone calls. People picking and choosing when to deal with you. So you don't need that. If you sense that type of weird energy, it's time for you to just move on. Let them be.
Because I don't have time for my nervous system to be disrupted. I just do not. Like if I suddenly find myself in a constant state of confusion where I'm trying to figure out what happened, why are you being weird, why'd your energy change, what's going on, I'm just simply not going to put up with it. And the thing about me is that I do care about my friendships, so I will try initially, but I'm also very self-aware and very in tune with myself. And so if I know that I did something or maybe said something that came across the wrong way or that bothered you, I will gladly address it, talk about it. But if I'm not able to put the puzzle pieces together and I know for a fact that I didn't do or say anything and that there's just been a sudden shift in your energy and your vibe and how you are interacting with me, then that just tells me that as an adult, you can't communicate, articulate, and say what it is that's bothering you. And 9 times out of 10, that is because what's bothering you is something that you don't feel comfortable saying. It's jealousy, it's hate, it's your own personal motives, your vendetta, whatever it may be. And that's when I start to take a step back, because if I know that I didn't do anything and you continue to act this way, you are going to get one chance where I'm going to be like, okay, is everything okay? What's going on? I feel a shift in your energy. I feel like something's off between us. And if you can't articulate it, then I'll know that it's one of the other reasons that I stated, and I'm done. Because I'm not about to run around chasing you, trying to figure out what's wrong. Most times, those people have that shift in energy because they know whatever it is that's bothering them is something that they can't express to you because it's not your fault. It's something personal. It's a reflection of how they feel or their insecurities or whatever it may be. And so they just start to kind of try to shift the way they treat you and act around you to make you second guess everything, to second guess the friendship, the relationship, yourself. And it's like a form of like narcissism, and it's very manipulative. So my nervous system will not be tolerating that, and it has not been tolerating that, but I just wanted to share that. Bye.
Now, every friendship is not perfect. They have their ups and downs. And sometimes you and your friend, y'all might have an issue that you're trying to solve, and trying to resolve the issue may become difficult. Because in this video I'm about to share with you, this video was relatable because it made a lot of sense. Just imagine, because we all go through this, if you and your friend, y'all have an issue and you want to resolve the issue, right? But somehow, some way, the friend that you have an issue with, your so-called friend, is keeping their distance. They don't want to work it out. And you're just constantly dwelling on it. It's just getting to you that you and your friend, y'all got this issue. But you're the only one that's taking it in the most. And your friend that you had your issue with, they're keeping their distance. They're not trying to repair the friendship, but you constantly trying to repair the friendship. But at the end of the day, you have to just think about it and realize that everybody is not made to be in your life forever. And that's where a lot of people go wrong at. They try to fix things and force situations that don't need to be forced. With friendships, relationships, anything. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. But a lot of people think that they can change situations. Sometimes you have people that don't want to change, that's afraid to change. And I know in life you're supposed to evolve and grow, but a lot of people want to be stuck in their ways. You know how they always say, that's just the way I am. Why can't you change the way you are? Why can't you evolve for the better? Why you have to be stuck in your ways? So, what I'm trying to say, if you can't repair the friendship, just move on. And I know a good friend is hard to come by, but at the end of the day, was they really your friend? That's what you need to ask yourself. Start putting two and two together. Just think about the times. Were they really there for you like how you were there for them? If not, then you answered your question.
I'm going to hold your hand while I say this, but if you have a friend or someone in your life who might be frustrated with you, annoyed with you, whatever, there's something going on and they don't communicate with you and they just keep driving distance between you, they don't want to repair the friendship and they don't really care enough to continue, because normally conflict and discomfort leads to growth. Not everyone's meant to be in your life forever, but just let that sink in. If you have an inkling or a feeling or things have been off with somebody and there hasn't been a conversation on both ends, or you've tried and they've been like everything's fine or whatever, they don't really care to be as close with you, and that's okay.
And then as you get older, you start to mature. And the same so-called friends that you thought cared about you, you start to realize that people really don't care about you.
You know, the older that I get, the more mature that I get, the more I realize that people really don't give a fuck about you. They're just nosy. There's a difference. Now, what do I mean by people are nosy? Okay, let me explain. I just feel like people will ask you about your life, your relationships, your money, your goals. I don't know, like what you've been doing, you know, not because they genuinely care about you, bro. They don't, if I'm being honest, but because humans just love information. They like gathering information from. Some people are just curious. Some people just want to compare their life to yours. Some people just, I don't know, want to see if you're doing better or worse than them. Let me tell you something, bro. If somebody genuinely, like, actually cared about you, they would actually reach out to you and they would check up on you when there's nothing to gain from it. Real, genuine people, they remember the little things. They support you when you're not in the room. You know what I'm saying? They don't just hit you up when they want information from you.
And they really be talking behind your back. And once you see all the weird energy, you start to remove yourself. And a lot of people been feeling like that because sometimes you really have to remove yourself from the situation. I get it.
The way people act when they assume that you do not know what they did to you or what they talked about behind your back is insane to me. Like the amount of friendships, especially like the past year or so, I had to cut off. I realized so quickly. I was like, you're acting very strange. Every time I come around, you start, you start acting a little weird. You start acting a little shifty, and I don't respond well to that, because 10 times out of 10, like, I don't think there's ever been a time I was wrong about it, is that they're usually doing something behind your back and they don't like to admit that to themselves, especially when it's someone close to you, especially when it's someone that, like, you're telling your story to, you're telling, like, your ideas to, because in a way, they get jealous. They get jealous at the thought of you excelling way above them. So they start acting strange.
That's why a lot of people cut people off. And then you get people who try to play victim. Like they don't know what happened. And then all of a sudden you tripping. Because they ain't got no accountability. But you know, deep down in your heart, you know you was a good person. So it really don't matter. Because if you was so bad, why people keep trying to double back and come back to you? So just ask yourself that, because times are just difficult. And a good friend is hard to come by. And that's why if you don't have a real friend to support you when times get rough like this, and every time you want to do something, a real friend should tell you go on and do it. But if you got a friend, a so-called friend, every time you want to do something, they telling you don't do it. They making up excuses for you to not do it, always trying to talk you out of it. They really weren't your friends anyway. They was low-key hating on you. So that's where the jealousy and envy comes in at. And people talking behind your back. And then they playing like they never talk behind your back. And a real friend, when situations happen, they're going to take up for you. Because at the end of the day, you their day one forever. But it's hard to find a day one friend. And that's why situations is starting to just seem weird. It don't make sense. Because it never made sense to begin with. You just didn't notice it. And that's the hard situation people have to deal with. And it's just crazy out here. Let me know if y'all experienced this before, because I experienced this before. The same groups that you used to call your so-called friends, you start to realize that they really ain't your friends. And the reason why you found this out is because when you were trying to hang out with them, as usual, they started to act weird. They started to pull back. And you started to get the picture. You started to get the memo that things were steady changing. And once you realize things are steady changing, you start to remove yourself from situations. And the reason why is because you start to learn that people phony. People really don't want to be your friend. And I know it's a sad world and you really can't trust people. And sometimes it be the people that you grew up with. And that's the saddest part. Because you had to outgrow these people. And then you started to realize when they used to ask you to hang out at these events, they'd never show up. When you call them and see where they was at, they'd make up excuses. They'll do all types of anything just to not be a real friend. And sometimes you'll call them, they don't even answer their phone. They don't even respond back. And the whole time, they got their phone in their hand. And that's a pet peeve. All that not answering, not responding, that's not no friend. And things like that, it'll break your heart. So that's why a lot of people just remove themselves from the situation. And that's why people learn to love themselves more than anybody else. Because they never loved themselves. They never thought they loved themselves the way that they do now. And that's why people are choosing isolation. A real friend, a true friend, that's down for you, it's hard to come by. Because people not loyal. And I know it's sad. And it could be the same people that you grew up with, the same people that you went to high school with. And I know it's a sad situation because majority of the people who went to high school and was hanging out with classmates all the time, they not hanging out as much no more. Everybody went their separate ways. And I know people got lives, but you can still catch up with an old friend, can't you? That's the part where I don't understand. So if somebody was acting different, all of a sudden, their energy was really weird towards you anyway, and you just didn't peep it. You didn't see it. You was blind to the fact. You was numb to it because you thought this person was really your friend. And that's the sad part. So in this video I'm about to show you, it explains everything.
Dude came on here and said that learning that your friends are some snake motherfuckers has got to be top 5 canon events. And I'm going to tell you like this. When I found out that I was hanging around the wrong crop of people, it completely changed my perception of life. Remember I told y'all, between 19 and 30 is going to be the most eye-opening part of your life. You are going to realize what the world is versus what you thought it was. You are going to come into contact with all different types of people and all kind of shit like that. And a few other things are going to happen. But one thing that most likely will happen is you're either going to have a falling out with your friends or friend, or you're going to find out that your circle isn't really your circle. The moment I realized that everything was like kind of fucked up for me, I don't know why I put my arm up like that. It was a random Friday or Saturday night. I can't remember which one. All I know is that I didn't have to work. Mind you, me and this group, we would always go hang out. We would always go, chill, get drunk, do some crazy shit, We was just having fun. Just like a year, maybe a year and a half, 2 years removed from high school. And it's like 9 o'clock at night. And I hadn't heard from anybody for quite some time. So, like usual, I just, reach out to one of them and like, hey, what y'all got going on? Like, what we doing? We getting into something this weekend, or we all just chilling? Because I can go either way, but I digress. And so, homeboy answered the phone and was like, yeah, man, we at this little kickback, So I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what's the address? Shoot me the address. I can wash up, pull up on y'all, boy. I'm already ready to go. I'll bring something to drink because I don't like to come empty-handed. That's not the type of guy I am. There was a pause, right? There was a pause after I stopped talking. Mind you, there's no noise in the back. There was a pause. That pause told me everything I needed to know. Because this mother said something to the effect of, oh yeah, we just chilling right now. We probably gonna leave in a little bit and or some shit like that. My immediate response is, you just chilling. Well, if y'all gonna leave, where are y'all going next? Oh yeah, man, we just chilling and this, that, and the third. So, yeah, man, we'll. I was like, hey, don't even worry about it, big dog. You good. And that point right there completely changed the way I looked at my friend group. I stopped coming around as much. I started to fall back, and it really put me in a weird position because I'm not the type of person to do goofy ass shit like that. You feel me? Fast forward to now, that friend group is fucking completely disbanded. And for some strange reason, I was the guy that was the odd man out. Hey, listen, ain't no love lost, anything like that. I don't, hold grudges or some shit like that. I mean, I know the real reason why, but hey, we're not here to talk about that. All in all, some shit like this is bound to happen if you have a friend group of any size or caliber or whatever the fuck. So yeah, if you like 19, 20 in your early 20s, yeah, definitely expect some bullshit like this to happen because that is definitely a canon event.
So that's why you see a lot of people alone. And people love being alone. Nobody to talk to. Because that keeps their peace. They don't want nobody disturbing their peace. So that's why friendships have changed. That's why it's getting strange. People acting weird because they showing their true colors. They never really liked you to begin with. They was just pretending. A lot of people be pretending. And I know it's sad because the same person that you would rather die for, they wouldn't do the same for you. And you start to realize as you get older, every situation that you've been through, you'll call your friend It's always some excuse. So if it's always some excuse with anything that you deal with, a friendship, a relationship, cut it off. That's a red flag. Don't get it another chance. I'm trying to save y'all some disappointment. Because if you get at another chance and you think people can change, it's going to dig you deeper into disappointment. So you might as well just move on and expect the unexpected. Because the ones you don't see is the ones that hurt you the most. And you could do whatever for this friend. Be there, loan them money, do anything. Just thinking you're being the best friend that you can be. But people don't care about that. They're just going to see you as weakness and take advantage of you. So that's why it's just good to just stay by yourself. Because I never really understood that. Now I understand it so perfect. The older you get, the more and more you don't want to be around people. I get it. Because a solid friend is hard to come by. And that's my take on the situation. Let me know how y'all feel about this one. Leave it in the comments. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peace.